Good morning, everybody. This is Mary Ellen coming to you from Moonrise Cottage. My guides are saying for a special meeting. They're calling it a meeting, so I'm just going with that. Those of you who've been here for the last couple days, everybody who's been following along for a while, who might come to pick up this message, first of all, thank you very much. And if you're new, I am here on YouTube to do my part to assist the people who are really soul traveling, who have made a commitment in their lives to discovering their magic, their mystery, the part that they have in the sacred unfolding that we're all experiencing. Okay, so I am continuing. My guides are calling it a series of special readings. I think they're meant to be 3. The next few days I'm not going to be available, and then somebody's coming here for initiation. I will be back next week, but I'm going to go tend to things happening in my life and prepare myself to do this initiation ceremony. So I'm going to, my guides are asking me to okay, they're saying to do what I'm doing, and I just want to acknowledge Mercury's in retrograde. I woke up this morning with literal word salad going on in my head. There's so much downloading and so much streaming, and a request to continue the message from yesterday. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do. My guides want me to do it in a very similar way. So I'm going to, the crows. If you're new and you don't know about my connection to crow medicine, there are some videos on my channel that will help you understand. I will put some eye in the sky links on this video if you want to know more about that. You can click on those. So this morning my guides are asking me to bring, in a sense, the representation of the fullness of my magic, because they want to talk with you about your magic, and they want to talk about magic, and they want to continue to talk about the squirrel and the butterfly, and I love that the snake showed up. So they're talking about my journey as a representation of your journey, things like that. So there's the medicine wheel. That's what we're doing, my guides are saying. And this from the Mystical Shaman Oracle is, okay, they're saying the topic of the reading is many paths. So I'm going to play, okay, my guides are saying the crow music, and I'm going to shuffle. I'm going to be quiet until the cards come out, and then I'll jump into the reading. So if you want to skip this part, you can jump ahead 5 minutes or so. That's fine, my guides are saying. They're encouraging people to be here because what my guides are saying is it's a ceremony, and we'll get into that a little bit more. So I'm just going to cleanse the space a little bit, clear the energy. Some of my masks are here with me. So again, if you're new and you're not used to this kind of tradition, I guess, you'll see a crow mask on the table. It's a representation of the void, of the sacred void, out of which all knowledge, wisdom, life, vibration, and light come. So this reading comes to you between the dark and the light, the sacred void, the voice of the universe. So I'm just gonna, my guides are asking me to cleanse the table because there's been a lot of magic going on here. All right, so we're gonna jump into the voice of the crow people for just a moment, and we'll take it from there. Okay. Hang on, I just got to play with my computer a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. Okay. So my guides are telling me to keep shuffling. They're telling me it goes like that. I have never done what you're seeing evolve here, so it may take me a minute to figure out what they want to talk about. I think it's okay, I'm getting chastised a little bit. It's a little bit, this is how I feel this morning. There's so much swirling around. You know, I was talking about word salad, and they want to speak to that a little bit. And it's the moment that we're in, I think. For a lot of us, it kind of feels like this. There is a purpose. It's a death and rebirth process that we're going through. Because that is the sacred portal, the representation of how we arrived. That's what my guides were talking about yesterday. The feminine portal. It's the death card. And so my guides are talking about the little blue death, the death that happens when a spirit incarnates and comes to this plane. They're really talking about deep magic this morning, I think. And it's part of why it's all scrambled up in my brain. So I'm asking my guides to please come through, help me deliver the message in the way that it is meant to be heard. Okay, they just said, in the way that is meant to be heard by each ear, meaning you will take whatever magic is meant for you from this reading, if any. Okay, they want this. She was here yesterday. Some of these cards have been with us now for a bit, my guides are saying. Okay. Hang on. Okay, so they're talking about the places between. And that's why they wanted me to set up the table this way. My guides are saying, don't be frightened. So, all right, they want me to speak a little bit about my own journey. Okay, there we have it. Hang on a second. All right, Spirit, what do you want to do with this? I want this way. That goes like that, apparently. Okay. Let me just check my camera and see if you can see this. Sorta. If I push it back too much farther, it's going to fall right off my table. I think I need to put something behind here because this is my grandmother's table. For those of you that don't know, my sweet grandmother. She was such a wonderful human being. All right, so we're going to get rid of this for a minute. All right, gang. So my guides are talking about a continuation of yesterday's message about what is within us and unlocking the mystery of our being. Nothing new about those topics, my guides are saying, and of course, it's not. It's the stuff of human legend. We've been trying to figure it out since we came together in social groups and began to experience the mystery of what it means to be incarnated here. Okay, they want me to do something. Don't know if this is going to work. Anyway, they've been talking about the ancients, and they've been talking about ancient memories, that which is within us that's meant to come forward now, the way in which we're meant to remember that which we know. And they're talking a little bit about religious thought, and the word doctrine is coming through. And if it helps you to understand through that lens, it's okay. I am not, nor shall I ever be, a religious scholar. So just acknowledgement. I am, okay, my guys are saying I'm a scholar of that, right? The dark, the deep mystery of life, because my life has been so extraordinarily mysterious to me. And the notion of walking in the shadows, walking in the mysterious places, the void, and every day, with every moment, with every step, walking toward the light. And we may talk about this as one of my masks. So, as a shamanic person, my job is exactly that, to be present for people, to be available, to help them find their own message and help them hear the wisdom of their own heart and their own soul as it rises to meet them here in this place, but from that place and from this place, while you walk between. And that's the experience of being on earth. It's okay. So I'm going to say words that come out of a lot of traditions. I think that happens partly because it's within my human limitations, and because the traditions that have developed that most of us are somewhat informed about will help the message come out. So my guys are talking about the middle way, the way in between the dark and the light, and the spiral of existence. Yesterday there was, I think it was yesterday, a notion about the circuit of your soul and our collective, and the way we travel, and the way destiny is meant to unfold. Those are all the things that are being talked about. And I think that's why the spread is the way it is. They want a visual representation of what we're experiencing, what these moments are for. And there's a lot of love coming through, and encouragement to not be to walk toward your own light, despite whatever fears you may feel, and to trust the deep magic of your own life. So I believe that's why this is here, because we see the shaman carrying the head. Celtic people, ancient peoples believed that the soul resided in the head. And so you choose a moment, you're out in the universe, you're swirling around, kind of like this reading is, with your light and with your intention, and in the mystery of all ways, my guides are saying. And then the moment comes, you incarnate here, and you come through the sacred feminine portal in order to have this growth process. That's what the leaves are about. And it is the sacred, okay, my guides are saying, it's the spirit world that holds the portal open for you, and we can see that in this indication. So, let's see. Where shall I put it? Dear spirit guides. Okay, they're talking about put it over here. So, let's just go. My guides are saying, let's go to the races. Are you ready? I hope I'm ready. So, we're going to continue a discussion. All right, Spirit, please don't burn up my cards. We're going to continue this discussion about squirrel medicine. It came through to me in a dream that I had this spring, as my life was, my guys are saying, as this was going on in my life, this kind of thing, I had a dream about a snake suddenly on my head. And basically, I will put the link for that if you want to watch it. Basically, it was a message that was coming through from my guides. So in a snapshot way, the dream was about, I was traveling along, I was floating, my guides are saying, like this, floating along on the essence of the mysterious waves of the universe in my own life, because the time had come and the planets were aligned and things like that. That my guides are saying, the things you understand. There are a lot of things that we don't understand. Sometimes we are meant to travel in the mysterious realm. We're meant to feel ourselves doing this. So there are moments in our lives when we feel this. Some people feel very fearful. Some people are able to feel the magic of it. And so my guides are encouraging you in that direction, understanding what the sacred spiral of your life is about and is for. So I'm having this dream, and I'm floating, flying in a trajectory, and I'm in the place where I live. So a road that you have to travel on in order to get here. So I'm floating along, just with my body on this road, and I'm holding something in my hand. And I become aware that I have this thing in my hand, and my guides are saying, so these are all allegories, right? They just understand the messaging within the images, because it has everything to do with you, wherever you are standing in your life right now. I'm here to confirm the things that you are trying to know about yourself. So I look down as I'm floating along, and I'm actually coming in the direction of my house. As time goes on, I'm realizing a little bit more about how and why this unfolded. So I'm floating along, heading for home. My guides are saying I was heading for home, and I had an ant farm. I look down and I'm holding an ant farm, just something I used to have when I was a kid. And I had a moment of, well, that's weird. Why do I have this? Where did this come from? So again, there are moments that happen in your life while you're floating along, doing something very, very ordinary. And suddenly you have a thought or a feeling, right? Or a dream that is a message from the void coming through, because whatever records are stored up within you are meant to be activated now. You do have all the knowledge that you need to know about your life. It is within you. And you can come and listen to readings like this, or go to church, or take a meditation retreat. Those things are important to support you while you float along in your own life, waiting for things that are meant to unfold to happen. So if you haven't seen yesterday's message, you might want to pause here and go watch that and then come back. So I'm floating along. I got this ant farm, and I look, because I love ant farms. I find it really fascinating to watch those amazing creatures do what they're doing. And so, I lift it up and I'm like looking in it and going, oh, this is cool. And I realized there's a snake in there. Oh my God. And two thoughts happen immediately. One is, holy shit, don't open this. Don't take the lid off of this thing. And then immediately I think, oh my God. And as I'm having the thought, I flip up the lid. So that's what my guides are talking about, right? We all have fear. Well, you know what? Pardon me. It's not true. Many of us, some of us, have fears and resistances when these moments come, and we don't realize what they're for. So, my thinking brain told me, oh my God, do not open this thing, because that's a rattlesnake and it's going to bite you, because that's what rattlesnakes do. And holy shit, that's what was going on. And sort of okay, my guys are saying it was a dual play moment. Me experiencing myself. My thinking brain resisted. But the brain of my heart said, yes, right now. And so, again, that's how we meet our journeys. And that's what my guides are saying. And actually, somebody who was here for a shamanic retreat recently, who is on the other side, was saying, we have it backwards. We are in the place that is the other side, because we live here and we live there and we live in all of these places. We live in the literal spiral. of energetic field vibration, the unified field, all the things that physicists talk about. So you will experience yourself in all of these ways. And in those moments, you're experiencing the dualistic nature of the dream journey of being here, incarnated on the earth. And that's why we have resistance. We're feeling both sides of ourselves. And in those moments, like what happened for me, fear comes up. So that dream went forward. I did open the lid, and a snake jumped out. And what it did was it didn't bite me. It literally jumped onto my head, and it sat there. And I went through a protracted, fear-based adventure in the dream to try to get this thing off my head. And even though I was going through my guides are calling it histrionics, all the histrionics of that, I knew that it would not hurt me. And yet my life experience tells me, oh yes, it will. It's gonna really hurt actually in terms of pain, and it's gonna kill me. So yeah, I was being carried across to travel out into the universe on my own medicine wheel. Okay, so look how beautiful that card is. This is from the Mystical Shaman Oracle. So these are the days, and we see the bird medicine, we see the snake medicine, we see the strength, the indication of be strong. Let me see. There's a lot going on in this card. It's kind of hard to see. But, so we see the indication of the sacred arrow. We see a lion. We see crow medicine going on in here. We see a snake. And an indication of the 4 directions. Oh, thank you, Spirit. See how dense I can be? There you go, 4 directions. That's what my guides are trying to do. Okay, so, I've been at it. My guides are saying I've been at it long enough. And I have, because, well, if you look at my chart, you'll understand. There are things in my chart, like your chart, that indicate your unfolding. So we have all these ways of divination that we've been given out of the mystery realm while we have this journey. And we go through our own medicine wheel of destiny and turning. It's really interesting how this came out. Because we are cosmic butterflies. We're here to have this journey, to draw forward that which is inside of us. And that's what was happening for me. And I've said this before, but, as I began to realize I was in a place where I really needed to change for all kinds of reasons. I won't go into that. You can see readings on my channel about that. There was just time. I was feeling tired. I was feeling the constraint of this literal, magical, my guides called it a pod, this little pod that I live in that was given to me by the universe through a very magical process that took a long time to unfold. I just started feeling like I need to get out of here. So it was me needing to stretch and expand, and it was the universe, and it was the wisdom that came through in my chart about how my life would unfold. And so there's an encouragement while we talk about this subject, what's inside of us, and the wisdom that it has about its own self, and the timing, the divine timing that is meant for it to employ. So my guides are saying you can walk right past the moments of divine timing if you want to. There's just in some ways there's no right or wrong per se, the way we interpret what that means, my guides are saying. However, in order for your happiest life, in order to understand and connect with the magic of the universe, when magic shows up in your life or when you have a dream, first of all, everybody, I hope you're keeping a dream journal. It's really important because my guides are saying it is your map, and you may not understand it right in the moment. That's okay. My guides are saying, so blah, blah, blah. So how does my experience relate to anything that's happening, I guess, is part of what my guides are utilizing me for this morning. It is a moment, I was meant to have it because of what my job is. And it is a moment that everybody's going through it. And there are things that are magical. We call it magic. My guides are saying, we call it magic, they call it destiny, that are meant to unfold in our lives to give us information about the journey that we're having when the planets align. So there's the new moon over there. Oh, can you see it? Do this. Oh gosh. So, let's see. I'm trying to think. Where am I sitting? All right, come on, Spirit. You want me to do it? Cooperate. So there's the new moon. It's an inception point, the eclipse, when we are meant to be activated. That's what's happening to that beautiful woman. I see, you can't see it. All right. So the portal opens, the information comes through the sacred portal of the feminine, the moon. And, I showed this, but I think you've seen this before. So you see the moon? Do you see the portal right there? The energy coming through? So these cards, this is the Celtic Wisdom Tarot. Again, if you're new, welcome. Thank you for being patient, my guides are saying, to pick up the message. So it's a moment when we experience spiritual activation and human actualization. And we touch the stone of wisdom. That's a representation of the Lee of Vale. It is the stone of destiny that sits on top of the hill of Tara, the place where ancient kings went for their coronation. And so within this card, we see, in a sense, the blending of the masculine and the feminine. That's what's being actualized. That's what's being activated. Another round, my guides are saying, of that experience, because it's time to pull out the next piece as we move forward. So yesterday, part of why this is happening, that's why I think, words are really powerful. Really powerful. I just had an experience in my life where I got really upset about words. So now, of course, it brings to me an awareness in an intricate way of my own responsibility. So I was talking about our destiny coming forward and, the way we're sailing into troubling times, et cetera, et cetera. It's meant to be for us to have the challenges that we have and the blessings. So, I guess part of what my guides are saying is, right, there's the void, there's the top side, and there's the underside. And we see it indicated in all these ways. So we are manifesting our reality. Our thoughts, in whatever moment we're in, have a lot of power. They literally hold energy. And we know now, literally proven by all those fabulous science geeks, my guides are talking about the eggheads in a loving way, not a slur, but there's some kind of a lab. I think it's in Switzerland. Guys are saying where they discover the miracles of the universe. Okay, they're saying the word photonics. That level of physics, I think. And those people know and are beginning to have begun to talk about for a while the way thought energy. Okay, hang on. I see what they're saying. So they're talking about, when you do a scientific experiment, the results literally change when human beings are present and they are thinking about it. So the results we're having now in the world come out of our thought patterns, and they actually come out of our desire to have experiences. And because we're here on this side, to understand what those experiences bring to us and what they're for, as they help us all develop into and out of the sacral spiral of existence, the medicine wheel that brings us here and shepherds us across in order to have a set of experiences. So in these days, we are all experiencing the snake energy, in a sense. It is a literal shamanistic moment for humanity. And we see, like the Ramayana, my guides are saying, this epic battle. And it comes out of the mind of humanity all the time. all the fabulous science fiction movies, right? So we live it and we spin it out as a form of entertainment because that as well stimulates something within us that is meant to be remembered and experienced and understood. So, the snake jumps on my head. It was this moment. And at the end of that dream, I finally, because I could get no assistance, no one would help me. And I tried to get help in all kinds of ways. And finally, I got angry and exasperated with the people around me. And I thought, well, fine. I'm just going to reach up and take this thing out of my hair because, God damn it, like that. I'm an Aries rising, so, that's part of my response. All right, pardon me, I'm just going to say what was going on in the dream. I was like, you know what, fuck all. I don't care. I'm going to grab this thing by the neck. Let the bastard bite me. I got defiant in the moment. And I reached up, and as I reached up to pull the thing out of my hair, its tail had been hanging down by the side of my face, with the rattle shaking. Just, literally my Kundalini awakening and me having a dream about it, feeling it, seeing it, hearing it in the dream. And when I finally get Aries mad enough and, with the kind of hubris and bravery, if you will, quote unquote, that an Aries type of person or a Leo would have, a fire sign person would have, I just like, okay, And I have had the experience in my life with snakes coming into my house. And I just pick them up by the, gently by the neck so they don't bite me. And one time I had like a 6 or 7 foot snake in my house. I don't know how it got in there, but it got in. And I was cleaning carpets and I pulled the couch away from the wall and there was this giant snake coiled up under there. And I just walked over to the window, opened the window, went over, picked up the snake. So there you go, honey, go on out there. That's where you live. So, this has been going on in my life a long time. I've had hawks fly into my house. A couple days ago, a groundhog came and stood on the doorway while I was doing the reading. And I thought, oh, honey, don't come in here. It's not going to make you happy. And just stood there and looked at me. So these are the things that happen in all of our lives. They are moments that are asking us to pay attention because something is awakening. One of our Akashic records is being revealed to us because of, my guides are saying, because of the astrology, because of the development that you've already done, and because of the sacred accompaniment that you have around you in your life. So it part of all this yakety yak is to convince you, my guides are saying, to convince you of the magic of your own existence and to give you love and encouragement to understand we are in the place in between. We are meant to have the spiral destiny in order to help us on our journey. So when little moments like that come, or you have a dream, or suddenly you get a feeling, or my guides always say this, or you're in the grocery store and you look at somebody and you get a chill. Something happens, you feel it. The mystic is with you every moment as you go around the circle of your life. And in those moments, what is meant to happen, of course, is transformation. So for me, that dream was an announcement. I knew, I didn't know exactly yet. It was an answer, it was a response to the feeling that I rightly had within me of sort of, my guides are saying, grating against my tether, wanting to break out, wanting to not be cloistered anymore, wanting to stretch and grow, wanting to have some adventure, etc., 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 all those things. And yet okay, my guides are saying, I love myself, meaning this place where I live. This is my sacred home. That's why it was given to me. Because you know what? I'm denser than you are. I need a lot of help. I think that's part of it. So, honor your life. Honor exactly where you're standing. Yes, if you were being abused or mistreated or something, yeah, move on from that. Clearly. My guides are talking about when you're in your places of safety, relatively speaking, and with deep respectful acknowledgement that there are people and there are places that are not safe. Those too are sacred experiences. However, in a human lifetime, my guides are saying, rational thought would dictate decision making. So there's a time for mystical thought and there's a time for rational thought. And in these moments of this eclipse season, it's a time for mystical thought. It's a time to understand the reflection and the way the spiral moves from the void, from the light to the void and back again in every month, in every lunar cycle. And it's time to have mystical vision, to bring forward what is within the void, within you, the place where the mystery lies. And it is the squirrel energy, that which is encoded and described to you through numerology and through astrology and through, my guides are saying, and more importantly, through the things that you know. Just because you know, your soul knows, your emotional body knows, your etheric body knows. So when a moment comes and you have an inkling, a meeting, and you shake somebody's hand and you feel the buzz, it's an awakening moment. And the correct thing to do is to just say, oh, my guy just said, oh, how do you do? Like that, to the moment, not to the person. And allow yourself to say, well, okay, all right, I'm getting a little stimulation from the universe. Thank you. Okay, and they're saying, so, and if for the people who go to church and pray, they're saying, so yeah, go to church, kneel down in the pew, and have a little quiet communication. Say thank you, say yes, and then walk on, because you know that something is unfolding. So let's see. Let me take a look at this. All right. So the spiral of life, our communal destiny, the medicine wheel of humanity, the tapestry, my guides call it. We are in a moment when that clearly is being woven together by the universe. So this card, I forgot to talk about. That's just the sacred way, the beauty way of many paths. There's somebody who came here whose name is Luminous Warrior. Just had a chat with Luminous Warrior the other day. An amazing human being, so beautiful. I made a little video about that. It's on the channel somewhere, probably under Shamanic Retreats. So, we are luminous warriors. And the universe is pulling the strings, the sacred grandmother of all existence, the sacred feminine power of the universe, always with us, weaving the strings of our destiny together, because we are transforming in every moment. That's cosmic butterfly, together with squirrel. My guides are saying leftover pieces of the message from yesterday. So it's really important to step into the magic of your own life. And when something is given to you or you have that kind of experience, remember, the sacred grandmother is plucking the strings, weaving together your destiny. And you feel it on an energetic sense because it comes straight through from the universe. So that's why this is here, my guides are saying, and that's why she's looking at it. It's the heart of the moment. All the little mystical moments that you have. When in those moments, the correct response is to not pay attention to your fears. Yes, allow some form of, okay, my guides are saying steady as she goes. So there's a way of balancing into these moments. It's just to acknowledge it, to understand that something is happening, something is coming. Right? In the heart of these moments, and always within human idea-based language, my guides are saying, it has to do with healing. And she's literally kneeling at a gravestone, picking herbs and flowers from the bones. The herbs and flowers grow up from the bones of someone who is on the other side. So my guides want you to understand the mystery of the way things unfold. And I love that the King of Knowledge is there, and that it is the king, his head, that touches the circle, right? So again, they're talking about your thoughts, the way it's married to your existence, right? That's the King of Pentacles. He sits in his abundance. He has his cup in his hand. And as we go around the wheel this time with the moon, with the eclipse, this is how we sit. So open your mind, allow yourself to touch the Kundalini of this moment, and hold your cup in your hand because you are about to receive something. And it should ignite the fire and the passion within you, no matter your sign. But we are being led by water energy. And that was kind of the end of the story for me in the moment about the snake and the squirrel. Oh, I looked into my chart. I was like, oh. And I've known for a long time. I've been living my life on the radiant energy that I've been given. And it's very powerful. And it has its own purpose. And I've been lucky enough to be given a Virgo as a sun sign, so I'm grounded. And my guides are talking about the radiant energy. I have X-ray vision, sort of, kind of, in a way. And I don't know, and the power in my life, the shamanistic power and hubris and arrogance and bravery to smoke something when it needs to be done, So that's part of my experience. But you know what? I got tired. It was time for me to put down my own fears and step into the vastness of the water energy that's in my chart. So a couple of years ago, when I went to Ireland, some of you have been with me long term here. I went because I felt the calling of my own destiny through my lineage that brought to me the clairvoyance that I have. And so finally I just thought, well, all right, it's time. I have the time. Someone gifted me, a benefactor from the channel, just a huge gift, and it paid for my trip. And again, the synchronicity of the spiral of humanity, that person just didn't even say anything, just a check arrived in thanks for a reading that I had done. And there were no limits, there were no boundaries. It was just, here's some love energy for you. And it helped my life come forward because I was free to use the energy that was being given to me from someone on the wheel to do my own life. And it's, again, okay, I'm acknowledging a little bit of word salad. It's part of what my guides are talking about when they talk about relationships. And I know yesterday I said very emphatically, like, that's over. We know that practically it's not. But it's changing the way we share love energy and the way we are meant to walk together around the wheel of our own lives while we walk around and have moments of connection with the wheel that other people have and the spirit world, in and out, from the darkness to the light and back again, in and out of the portal. So it's a very sacred moment. For some reason, my guides are saying, we go through this every year, but I think the energy, there's a spiral that's moving and intensifying. And so my guides are paying a unique amount of attention to that. So, circling back, I went to the passage tombs. I felt pulled, literally. I knew I had to go. I had no idea how that was going to happen. But again, I said, okay, well, yes, I feel the call. I will go. You send me there. I don't know how I'm going to get there because, that's a big journey. And if my guys are saying you're going to be there for a month, I was like, okay, awesome. Who's paying for that? In my snarky Aries way. And guess what? The universe paid for it because of the connections that I make on the medicine wheel of my own existence. So understand how you touch people with your energy and the reason that the spiral turns, the tapestry, what it's for, how we're meant to experience the weaving of our own existence as it touches everyone around us, right? And the squirrel moments come, and some piece of DNA or, astrological, all the ways we so far have come to understand it, comes forward. My guides are talking about homeopathy. I'm going to put that on pause for a minute. It's a way to get your DNA to activate. So if you do not have a homeopathic healer in your life, please get one. Make sure it's somebody who's properly educated and has a lot of experience. Um, my guides are saying, because that's what they do. It's a long dissertation. I'm not going to go there, but it's one of the things that helps us know, come into our knowing, correct the spiral of our vibration, and allow it to stabilize as it should be within us, not change it, but come into itself, because there's wisdom in there. So, anyways, that happened. I went off to the passage tombs. I spent a lot of time in them. I had some really profound experiences in there. And when I got into the Fornax Passage tomb, we had propped the door open the door. You have to get a key. You can go in by yourself. So there's a process. You have to, they're just a lady living in a house. Kind of like me, just a lady living in a house. You got to go to her house to get the key. And she's a fabulous sprite of a human being. And, you fork over your driver's license and $20 or something like that. And she gives you the key. And off you go. For me, it was a really magical moment. I felt like I was meeting with a fairy. I just wish you all could have experiences like that at least once in your life, to go to a sacred place. So ask your guides, because you know what? In this moment, that can be given, my guides are saying. So anyways, I went in the passage tomb. I had been in and out of many of them. And I was just driving around Ireland from place to place to all the sacred places I could find. And in order to stimulate my journey. And when I got into the Fornax Passage tomb and sat down to do some readings and throw the runes, the door shut. And you're literally plunged into darkness. I nearly shit myself. So frightened. And, again, it's a moment like this one, my guides are saying, because we do get answered. People come forward. Experiences come forward. Your journey is always supported. So pay close attention to the people and the things, and mostly what's coming from within you, as your butterfly is meant to be in its cocoon and develop in order to come out and spread its wings. It's just time to really trust it. So while I was in there, many things happened, and I left a rune tucked into one of the altars in the passage tomb. It was an intention. It was a request based on things that I knew about my destiny that I had no words for. It was a feeling. It was the rise of energy within me. It was within my cocoon, in the place that felt like a cocoon, that is literally my lineage, in some part, my DNA. I was traveling there to go back into the stored records of my own life to try to figure out who the hell am I and what the hell am I doing and why am I having this life? Some part of me knows. I think it's true for all of us. Hopefully, you understand if you've taken any time to do introspection in your own life. So, the snake dream came. And the end of the dream was the squirrel. And I pulled the squirrel out. It was mangled. And I was sort of holding on to its tail as if the rest of it had been ingested. That was literally my internal knowing. Eating, ingesting, activating, not just the Kundalini, the stored records within me, because the time had come. My guides are saying, and your time is coming, even if you don't believe it. It's here. Our time is coming. So, when I talk about, okay, my guides are asking me to move this up a little bit. When I talk about, we're coming into some hard times and things like that, I'm just talking about this and this. My guides are saying, and this, right? And then there's the experiences that we have that swirl around us. But at the core of our being, there are many paths around the medicine wheel of humanity. We're meant to experience as many of them as we can, because we are awakening ourselves. The universe is doing it, the spiral, the mysterious place between light and dark. When the light travels into the darkness, and the darkness responds, the void, and emits light, and they play together, yin and yang. Mystical, shamanistic journeys with the language of the crows think that's why that's there. That's why they were starting the way they were this morning. So, if you look at what's on the table, it's the heart of the moment that we get to have. I can put that out of there. That we get to have another moment. Ascension. Eight of Wands. Messages coming through to us because of what is at the heart of this experience, especially in these eclipses. So honor the experience of your life. Know that you are, I know it sounds like platitudes, but really look deeply into the unfolding of your life. Look deeply into your chart. When an eclipse comes, what is going on? And if you need to go and have some assistance with that, get it. And make sure that the information you're getting is for your highest good. That someone can look at your chart or something about you and understand how your destiny is being woven and express that to you in this way, in a magic, shamanistic way, about your own path and where you are on the medicine wheel of your sacred existence, because it is being woven and it's a moment of activation for yourself, right? So there's lots of ways you could interpret this card. Many, I understand. This is a story about an energy form swirling together with another energy form. People will call it twin flames. They focus on romance. That's what I was trying to say yesterday. So you know what? When you focus there, when your whole life mission is to find a partner, you miss your journey. If you simply take your journey, your partner will arrive. If you're meant to have one. Not all of us are. It's okay. It's time to come to a place of calm about this. I think that's what I was trying to say and doing it ineptly yesterday. And just acknowledge the beauty of your life. And if you feel sad and if you feel lonely, go and seek out ways to connect to your own journey. And your beauty will unfold. And I believe, and maybe it's just because of my experience, but in my experience, what you need comes forward. And there is no loneliness. I mean, I've been a monk for a long time. I'm not lonely. My guides are talking. Okay, so it's just, okay, they're talking about the visceral experience of being human and the way the human heart is meant to be employed and the way we've been doing it. Okay, my guides are saying, like a toddler, they have to sort of grow up and then through their experience and through the development of their brain, literally, and their, okay, wow. My guides just said their genomic pathway. Woo, that's deep. They develop and they begin to understand concepts. Okay, my guides are saying, and thus they go forward. So that's what we're involved in. That's what some of those declarations that I make are about. My guides are saying, someday humanity will cease to exist, perhaps. In the meantime, yes, we're going to keep procreating. You're going to find people that are going to come into your life. Some of you, that's what you're meant for. Some of us, not so much, I think. So it is this way in which my guides want us to howl at the moon as we go through the eclipse. Excuse me, Spirit. Let me move this. All right. This is how we should howl at the moon. All right, I'm going to put it up here. While we go through these days, the days in between the light and the dark, and we feel the sacred spiral. That's part of what the cycles of the moon are for. It's an opportunity for us to feel it. And we feel the sacred gravity. We feel the tug. We feel the tides. We feel the ocean's waters within us move. So, okay, my guides are circling. Boy, they are really, they're taking me out today. Out, in and out, like the tide. That's what they're saying. So, again, just as an example, and that's all. Back to my own journey for a moment. Right. So, give me a minute. I just want to. Do a little bit of this. So yeah, understand how the smoke rises in your life at the core of your being, what you remember. Okay, my guides are saying the things that you remember are the people that you meet in some way. There is a remembrance. And as we go around this circle with our human mind touching the circle, it does begin to create this movement through the cycles of the moon. Our ascension moments, our places of understanding, our places of ignition. Okay, like my guides are saying, this place, when we get ignited for an ascension moment within our own lives. And then a new life does come forward, doesn't it? It comes out of the mystical realm, the next phase of your journey, which is exactly what happened for me. I was meant to be reborn into my own life, the next phase of my existence. After having this sort of mystical passage. And for whatever reason, because of who I am, I get to understand it in the ways that I do, and I get to be dumbfounded in the ways that I am, and I get to misunderstand it in the ways that I do, because it is the mystery of the unfolding. And I think that's why we see a child, clearly a transformation has happened. I'm being held in the arms of the Queen of Skill, Queen of Wands. Okay, my guides are talking about the Empress. Generally, this is not the Empress, but, right, you see the crows? That's my journey. It may not be your journey. There's something about the key to my Akashic records. The DNA activation, the codes that are within me, the remembrances, my guides are calling it, that were, my guides are saying, shuffled up, in the moments when I decided to come here. Okay, you see how obsessive I am as a Virgo? I just want everything to be perfect. Anyway, so, this is the way we should howl at the moon, at the portal that's open to us every month. And you know what I love about this? It's your past lives that you're calling forward. It's your destiny through the wheel. That's why this woman is here on the table right now. She's picking healing. You are harvesting the healing also that comes from this place, from your past lives. They grow like flowers into your life somehow, and everybody's field of, okay, my guys just said field of dreams. Field of dreams, field of flowers. It's unique to yourself. That's why some people are artists and some people are singers and some people sit in little cottages in the woods and play with tarot cards, right? All equally beautiful, all needed. That's why we're meant to go on our journey, because we stimulate everyone when we simply step in to our journey that unfolds from within us, sometimes activated with the help of other partners. And there can be a lot of fear involved until, my guides are saying, and you see how it's really interesting. Thank you, Spirit. So you see how this heart of the moment, that's what this is. Look at that card. Wow. Almost looks like the Lover's card. It's a little hard to see it on the camera. This is from the Journey of Love Oracle. So you might be able to look that up online. Just see the people standing there, and the heart, and the coloration, and the light that's within it. My guides are saying that's why it's here with this mask, right? And over here we see the mysterious part of the journey. And I love that Spirit's telling us to howl at the moon. So there we go. It's interesting. I'm in the initial stages of, together with Ingrid Kalick, Primary Feathers, whose website you should visit, we are designing and developing a t-shirt. I don't know if it'll ever come into being, but it was a little inspiration that came to me, and I thought, I'm just going to do it. I don't know what that's for. And oddly enough, it has all to do with this notion of heart fire and the many flames that exist through the representation of humanity. And here on the other side of the wheel, that's what's there. It's heart fire. Let me see if I can grab this. Do you see? Okay, my guides are saying, from the sacred realm into the fish tank, into the sacred experience of being here on the earth in order to be activated, to come into your actualization through the cycles of the moon. Often with a sacred accompaniment of other individuals. And, just because of humanity, my guides are saying, all right, so there we go. The sacred yin and yang, sitting together in the moments of the full moon. I love that the light of knowledge is demonstrated as water, as it should be in these days, because the North Node is in Cancer. And we see these two energy set points sitting together. The sacred feminine, dressed in her passion, holding on to the sacred male while it transforms. And I love the way, I'm going to show this to you up close. To see that? You see the way they look at each other? It almost looks like there's, maybe a little bit of humor going on, maybe a little bit of what the hell, but clearly a sacred journey. She built this tower for him in order for him to have his many perspectives, to develop, my guides are saying, many perspectives, so that he could transform himself and understand all the ways one can come and go, and where the sacred waters come from, and what happens. And you see that on the feminine side, you see the growth, including there are little red berries there, and where the masculine sits, there are green leaves. It's not an accident. There's a lot of allegory in these cards. So when you look into them, look deeply and ponder what that means, right? There is something being birthed from this set point, just like this set point, because she is a reflection of the universe, because she is a portal, embodied. It's fascinating to me. I love it. So as we come into these moments, my guides are saying, here's where we are. We are going around the wheel, but right in these moments, this is where we are. And we are meant to be activated. We are meant to be experiencing the mystery of our lives and trust and know that things are being woven together as they should be. So while you're on your beauty way of many paths and your soul is having its circle around the medicine wheel of your existence, there are many ways, my guides are saying, these moments come. And in any one of them, it is its own portal. And you can use that portal to jump in to the center point of your destiny. So, I had an intention, and the power of your intention is extremely important. It is just, I don't even know how to communicate. Okay, my guides are saying the word with virulence. How important it is to have a sacred intention and then trust. And my guides are saying, like you throw a penny into a fountain, it's that notion. Throw your intention into the center point of your mystical existence and know that the universe receives the vibration and the wheel starts to turn based on the fire in your own heart, based on the moment when an inspiration comes, an inkling, a thought, a dream, a meeting, a wish, anything along those lines, especially when you feel some physical manifestation. That's when you know that your own internal magic is being activated. And so make a wish, do a little ceremony, say some words to your guides, go to church, whatever way you do this, and know that it is the heart of that moment that brings forward this journey. Because it is the fire that comes from within you that stimulates a journey. So, back to my shaman story. So I went to the passage tombs. I left the rune of the shaman, in a sense. It's not that simplistic, but in the passage tombs, tucked in behind one of the altars, because I didn't want to disturb any visitors there, and I thought the best thing to do is to put this behind one of the stones and just, And I worried a little bit about maybe it's not appropriate for me to leave something here. And my God, if everybody did that, the place would look like a trash dump. And, my Virgo was flaring. But I knew because that is the place out of which I came. Somehow, my lineage that was calling to me. And so that's part of what my guides want to talk about. That we are each other's lineage in all these mysterious ways that we don't understand. It's not necessary to totally understand it in the moment. It's, well, if you want to have your journey, it's necessary to respond and to say, well, okay, I don't get it, but yes, let's go have an adventure. And I know it's easy for me to say because I have Aries rising. So, the adventure was into my own fears. I was meant to stimulate the next part of my existence because the planets were aligning and uh, the destiny that was foretold by my astrological chart was coming forward. I didn't know. I mean, I know, quote unquote, I know, but I didn't factually know. And so the desire that I was having, I was feeling it, chafing against my tethers, the way a bird would. If you put the way people have with falcons and hawks, and they put a little tether on them, and then they put a blindfold on them so they can't see their own life. So my guides are saying, don't do that to yourself. When you feel an urge, when something comes forward, when a mystical moment happens, that is you inviting yourself into your own medicine wheel of development so that you can be activated and actualized on the cycles of the moon. Right? So we do it for ourselves and we do it with the yin and yang within us. We do it with the spirit world. We do it through the meetings that we have with other human beings. Right? So I don't know what my future's going to hold, but I have liberated myself in some way because I don't know, because on some level, I, well, here's what it is. Because of the pain I feel when I do not respond to those moments, it feels horrible to me. And my guides are saying, and it feels horrible to you. So, in these moments, bless yourself, love yourself. Know, my guides want to give you some intellectual knowing, I think, about kind of how my guides are saying, kind of how this works in your own life. So, the squirrel medicine is here with all of us because we are meant to be cosmic butterflies. And it is the moving around the medicine wheel of our own existence, our own DNA codes, if that's what you want to call them, the energy vibration that's within us that is meant to connect to the tapestry in all these different ways, all of these different points. So, what is coming forward, if you look at the astrology, we're coming into this full moon eclipse that has a lot of activation. Of course, Pluto and Saturn. Many planets are retrograde. So what is happening now is literally a reflection of the way the planets are going to be aligned. I think it's January 2020, and closer the conjunctions with Pluto and Saturn, etc. I'm not an astrologer, so I can't speak um, intelligently about that because I don't have enough factual information in my head. But go look. That's what my guides were talking about, right? So we are challenging ourselves as we are on this incredible spiral of destiny. And your energy matters, and it is needed, and it is wanted, or these things wouldn't be happening. So there's lots of chatter going on in the background about the sacred destiny that we've experienced and the spirals that we've been through, and the way that in all of these moments, we have our own records stored within us that literally bear fruit into this lifetime. We carry that energy. It's a part of what, okay, my guys are talking about homeopathy again, right? So it's a long thing, and I'm not going to go into the intellectual description, but I studied and I worked as a homeopath for a while, and it fascinated me because, again, it was about energy. What is your energy signature? How does that reflected in your chart? So if you look at my energy signature through the homeopathic lens, and then you look into my chart, there's no surprise whatsoever because they reflect each other as they should, as they are meant to. So these are all the ways in which you reflect your internal records, if you will, for vibration, I guess, and the intention that your soul has when you come here. So, again, I feel like that's part of my job. The agreement that I made is to just help people understand that they are looking into their own mirror. In every moment, they are fulfilling the intention that they had. And it does happen in mysterious, beautiful ways. Sometimes through experiences that we call negative, and sometimes through experiences that we call positive. But each one of them is sacred in its own way, because it is part of the pathway, part of the medicine wheel of your own existence. It is the magic of the stuff of life, of coming from that place into this place, my guides are saying, right? Into the realm of the humanity, in order to from here continue to howl at the moon, experience the cycles. So I hope that made sense. I'm going to end there. I know that I've been talking for a long time, and I thank you for having the patience to pick up these messages. And my guides are saying I'm going to just we're going to send this. They're talking about the Buddhists again. The way those beautiful monks will make a sand mandala and just let it sit there for a while until the energy of it has done its job, and then they literally come and destroy it. It's a beautiful metaphor for a human existence and for a soul circuit. While whatever portion of your soul circuit that you're on. So I'm just going to blow some energy onto here, cleanse this a little bit, and I'm going to leave this message here through the weekend. I thank my guides and thank everybody who's here to pick this up, because you're my soul family. I have no doubt about that anymore, because of the amount of love that goes back and forth between us and the kind of journeys that we have and the kind of messages that I get. So we're just going to honor the sacred spiral in these moments while we come through to the eclipse. So I think I will be back on Monday or Tuesday. But I'm going to take a pause. This beautiful young woman coming here, part of my own soul family, my literal family, my youngest sister. I have 5 sisters, if you can imagine. So my youngest sister is bringing her daughter this weekend for homeopathic healing and for an initiation ceremony that this child asked for. And she has no way to know about these things. So again, that's what's coming out of her. So I had a conversation with my sister. I said, yeah, put that child in the car. Bring her here. We're going to let her make her own ceremony so that she can see into her soul and maybe have, well, she's already had the first experience, but in a sense, the first experience of bringing her destiny forward because of an inkling, because of something that comes forward. And that's why my guides are talking about it from within the metaphor of the squirrel. Because that thing that was in the reading yesterday about the way the squirrel runs around a branch. So if you are a branch and you are a tree in your own life and the energy starts to move and just, you can't control it. It's really rapid. It's fun. It's joyful. Sometimes it's intense. Allow yourself, maybe for today, my guides are saying, if it's possible, go somewhere and just watch the squirrels run around in the trees and the way the energy jumps and the way they chatter and communicate. That's a reflection of the human existence in this way, I guess, what my guides are talking about. So thanks, everybody. We are literally at an hour and a half. So I just honor you for being willing to be here with me and to be present in this moment while we move from the light toward the darkness, right? And back again. So we're heading into the full moon. I'll be here next week, I think. And until then, I want to thank you for being at the core of my existence, or for being willing to listen to what the voice of your soul is saying to you. from the distance, from the places you've already been, and from the place that you are now. So definitely go out, sit in the moonlight if you have an opportunity, and think about, my guides are saying, and think about this. Let's see if I can get these to stand up together. There's a feather in the way. How about if I just put them right there? All right, understand yourself in this way. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll look forward to possibly being here with you again on Monday. Thanks, everyone.